But the short version of the story is that they have a drug problem. Within Oklahoma, there has been major opioid pandemic and is now faced with a meth problem. From 2010 to 2016, there was a 265% increase in meth overdoses. This is applicable to me because even though I live in Texas, Oklahoma has kind of been in driving distance, and when you drive through the state, in some places, it's even possible to witness the result of the exposure to the drugs over the past few years, and as the struggle is apparent in most places. Making the community that we live in safer and more pleasant to be around upholds and allows for the future generations to have building blocks to build upon. And there are statistics that read that there's a need for change within a community that can be honestly stripped of their livelihood and well-being. And it could potentially set children back and put restraints on some financially. Statistically speaking, we could sit here and talk about what is going on, but if we do not do anything, it will not simply go away, and the situation will not get worse. It will only get worse. If the problem continues, then it might have an effect in slipping into surrounding cities and plaguing the streets that our children play in and the livelihood of our neighborhoods. To improve the lives of children within Oklahoma, we must introduce a policy which allows children to be checked for symptoms caused by opioid, alcohol, and meth addictions, at least until the age of 18. The school would offer these screenings along with physicals that students take yearly. And this would help adolescents who avidly use by allowing a healthcare professional to talk to them and educate them on dangers that are being implied on their body. And it also helps spread the understanding that complications that may arise later in life due to the drugs such as opioids and methamphetamine users. My solution to this problem is a process that we as a community need to stress and educate our children more within the school systems by bringing in guest speakers and those with testimonies who can help children maybe have a face to put to such things and maybe help convince them to not make impulsive decisions as they grow and up into their adult years. Life can be difficult, and it's harder when there's a drug issue that complicates the process. This is a sympathetic issue that needs to be taken seriously due to the centralization that Oklahoma's geographical location lies within the middle of crossroads to many different states. And taking something like this is, seriously, is definitely needed in order to make any strides towards progress in educating our future generation of dangers that is affecting Oklahoma as a state. For instance, OK.gov has a section within their database that shows and explains to the public about the dangers of drug use and its effect on the public. This is extremely important because it shows the effort that is being made to change things. But it allows there to be some form of informing being utilized by the state. Within the database, there are warnings about all sorts of drugs, from marijuana to opioid misuse, as well as the long-term effects that the drugs have on the body. Most will not believe at the rate that things are proceeding. Even if you look at the website, thetreatmentcenter.com, the site has information regarding Oklahoma and how the state consistently ranks among the top states for painkiller abuse and overdose deaths in the country. The deaths caused by prescription opioids eclipse all other illegal drugs and alcohol combined on a constant basis. The website says, according to the CDC research, the number of opioid deaths within America quadrupled between 1999 and 2015. Additionally, opioid sales rose by a very similar margin. This is what's shocking to me because it showed me how even though statistically children's involvement in drugs has decreased and got increasingly better over the years, it is important to maintain the ability to address a situation that clearly is plaguing our state. There are several counter-arguments that could be rather ambiguous as to the outcome. For instance, the fact that these mandatory inspections could be a violation of HIPAA. There could also be parents who may not necessarily want their children or child to be exposed to the process. Maybe they think the process does not apply to them as a family. Another issue may be the cost of these physicals and the effect that the physicals have on those without insurance. However, it should be noted that when adjusting to mandatory checkups that are encouraged greatly, there must be an application process for help or aid with the payments for those who qualify and payment options available to the public. Change can be made within our state. Someone just has to have the courage to stand up and start making strides toward a bigger and better life. Being an addiction-based state gives us no power. It gives us no ability to move forward with the things that strip you of your well-being. Being a prisoner to addiction within a free country isn't freedom at all. It is the most heavenly hell someone could ever think possible. By allowing change to affect you slightly is the first step to accepting the want to stand up and not allow our children to be brought down or affected by choices we make and we do not make. There's an article in the Oklahoma Gazette that Kirk Morrison talks about how a man going by the alias Todd to protect his identity said he began using drugs and alcohol when he was 15, which says a lot about the way it is affecting our community as a whole. The article also stated from the Pacific Institute for Research and Evaluation showed that in 2013, underage drinking cost the state of Oklahoma more than $1 billion, including lost work, medical costs, and pain and suffering associated with problems that go along with underage alcohol and substance abuse. The struggle is real for our state regarding how long this battle continues. It's the underlying importance of passing this proposition that would make screening of our children a potential requirement by the state in order to control the effect of the drug outbreaks within the lives of our children and future generation for years to come.